Alrighty, guys, we're back for Azorus Soldiers, and this is a Bloomburrow Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We got all 4 Yotian Frontliners, good soldier. We got all 4 Recruitment Officers, good soldier. We got 3 Mockingbirds, good soldier, question mark? Yeah, X and a blue, 1/1, it has flying. And you may have Mockingbird enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to, that's interesting, the amount of mana spent to cast Mockingbird, except it's a bird in addition to its other types, and it has flying still as well. Very interesting card, man. So, of course, now, first of all, you can copy your opponent's creatures with this too. It does say copy of any creature on the battlefield, not just creature you own, right? So that's pretty cool at the very least. But then also you can copy important soldiers like Valiant Veteran, for example. So 2 mana, 2/2, other soldiers you control get +1/+1. That is not going to be terrible to copy with the Mockingbird, and for 2 mana at that. So you would be paying the blue, and then X is 1, so it's 2 mana total to copy the Veteran. Pretty neat stuff, man. I'm excited to see if Mockingbird will do the thing today. We have a lot of other powerful soldiers packed in. We're going wide with soldiers from Resolute Reinforcements. We got this soldier that I really want to try out. Brightblade Stoat is a 2 mana, 2/2, first strike, lifelink. Interesting stuff, man. It's so simple, but I think it's actually going to be pretty darn good, especially when we start boosting this with our veteran style abilities. We do have other ways to boost it in here. On the top end, we have a couple Patchwork Banners, which we'll call Soldier on, and honestly, ramping off the banner is not terrible in a Soldier deck list, but we do have some pretty expensive things in the mana base too, like Fortified Beachhead. For 5 mana, you can tap the Beachhead. Soldiers you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and it's not unheard of to actually get to the point in the match where you're activating the Beachhead ability to win the game that turn or something. So I actually really like Banner for that reason. But then also, of course, just boosting our soldiers again. We also have a couple Siege Veteran here on the top end. That's another great way to boost our Brightblade. I'll tell you what, man, first strike lifelink could be disgusting if we start plugging a bunch of counters onto that. We have a bit of card draw packed in with all 4 chart a course. You can draw 2 cards at sorcery speed for 1 and a blue, and then discard a card unless you attacked this turn. So you can play this on main phase 2 after you swing in with your soldiers and just draw 2 cards. That seems pretty good, but it's going to be okay if you end up discarding cards, because we don't mind having things into the graveyard, and I'll go over why in just a second. And that's going to be a similar reason why we have Guardian of New Benalia as one of our soldiers this time around. 2 mana, 2/2, rocking that enlist. When it does enlist a creature, you scry 2, and scrying is no joke, man. Scry 2 is pretty good. Now, you can discard a card. Guardian of New Benalia gains indestructible until end of turn, and you tap it. Not a bad ability at all, guys. So, why am I saying that it's okay to be discarding cards, right? Well, we have Dewdrop Cure in here. 3 of them. It's a 3 mana, sorcery speed, gift a card. Return up to 2 target creature cards, each with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, now if a gift was promised, instead return up to 3 target creature cards, each with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's one of the reasons why we don't have too many top-end soldiers here, right? Only a couple Siege Veteran, for example, because it is mana value 2 or less for this card. I think that'll really do the thing in here, actually. Now, of course, it doesn't like give them haste or anything, and this is sorcery speed, so I guess you could do this and then the opponent wipes the board next turn. So, of course, you got to play around that to your best ability, but I think it's going to be solid in here. Also, we have a Harbin, Vanguard, Aviator. Solid card. Maybe we want more of these, actually. Also, when we are discarding on Chart a Course and Guardian, Frontliner is a pretty good discard as well because of that Unearth ability, of course. Over in the mana base, guys, we do have a couple Cavern of Souls. We have all the Seachrome Coast as well as a Restless Anchorage too, heavily leaning towards the plains because that's what the deck is leaning towards. A bunch of honorable mentions. Novice Inspector. I don't know what you're doing in here. At some point, I must have been wanting to go towards like a human route instead of a soldier route, right? Warden of the Inner Sky is an interesting soldier that maybe could have worked well in this build, though. Coppercoat Vanguard is a human soldier. There you go. That's, like I said, maybe going more towards the human route. This would be a good one to copy with the Mockingbird, too. Like, honorable mention for a reason, for sure. Delny could have been pretty cool. Lorna the Third Path, again, if we would have went that human route. Maybe we should have, instead of just soldiers, right? Because there's solid humans, honestly. Kitesail Larcenist, again, human route. It looks like a lot of my honorable mentions, I was just like stocking up to talk to you guys about maybe we just want to go humans instead. Skystrike Officer is a pretty good human soldier. And then Miro is a card to consider for sure. Three Tree City is a card I considered for the list. Like, where do we want Three Tree City? Because I really haven't seen anyone playing it. So let me know in the comments, is this the right build that could play Three Tree City successfully? Because we're going wide with soldiers. We can actually generate a good chunk of mana. And it's like I said when I was going over Banner, we really don't mind having excess mana in here at all. So yeah, something to consider, I guess. Honorable mention for a good reason. All right, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Looks like we're getting right into that first game, guys. What am I expecting from the build? I think it'll be pretty good, but I hope it'll be pretty good. Let's go with that, right? Oh, only 1 mana in our opener. If we don't see our second mana, this is pretty bad. I really like all the creatures here, but we have to mulligan. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, we might send the Cure. I wouldn't mind sending the Plains, though. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. We'll go Fortified Beachhead, show the officer, play the officer. I hope... I mean, I really liked the first hand a lot better than this one, but with only 1 mana, we couldn't keep it. I hope sending that Plains works out in our favor. Vine Lasher from the opponent. Siege Veteran, okay. Yeah, see, that's... we got enough of our top end, for sure. So we can go Cavern. We'll definitely just call Soldier here, even though Mockingbird's in hand. And we could swing, see what happens. I think they trade. Mockingbird. We could just play the Mockingbird. We could copy Vine Lasher if we wanted. That's pretty bad, actually. I think I'm gonna do nothing. Call me crazy, man. Sometimes you don't have to spend your mana, and I think we can copy maybe like a 2-drop from the opponent if we miss our mana next turn. You know what I mean? So copying Bristly Bill could be pretty good. Oh, Resolute Reinforcements. Oh, they actually let this 2/1 go through, don't they? I'm going for it. Let's see it. It's like a land drop. Or a landfall deck. Yeah. So we probably could have cheesed 2 through last turn too. We're going to keep that Resolute Reinforcements available. This should be very scary. A Fabled Passage is a pretty huge play for them for the turn. Mosswood Dread Knight, they're going for the draw. I'd love a double block into that Vine Lasher. Heck yeah, dude. That's good. Good news. Wait a minute. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. They pop Fabled Passage instant speed here. Put a counter from the Bristly Bill onto the Vine Lasher. Crap. Okay. It doesn't work. I only saw it after the play. But that's okay. We were still planning on playing Reinforcements at the end of their turn anyways, so... Okay, Oaken and counter on to the Vine Lasher, going down to 15 here. Chart a course. Mockingbird onto reinforcements is not bad, because it enters as the copy. But we're kind of in danger. Maybe we should just go for the chart a course and see what we see. Could also full swing. I think they block pretty effectively here. It'd be pretty bad because after the fact we have to... Okay, it's slow. It's janky, but chart a course. Crap. I don't mind seeing mana, but what do we get rid of? Because if we drop the Mockingbird, I guess like Dewdrop could bring back a 1/1 flyer. I guess the crap was for... I wanted to use the Dewdrop Cure, but I'm pretty sure that that is the discard because I want both of the mana in hand right now. Also, we could still go Mockingbird, copy the Recruitment Officer for the turn, which isn't bad. We can decline since we have soldiers on the table. Mockingbird X's 1, copy the officer. We want to copy soldiers. Even though it would be cool to copy the Vine Lasher, right? We want to copy soldiers when it comes time to buff the soldiers. All right, no attacks. I think we're in trouble, man. We had to, we really had to jump through hoops for a little bit of setup here, so... generally speaking, soldiers wants to go much faster than what we were able to do so far. And also, their setup is beautiful. Yeah, their setup is absolutely gorgeous. Blossoming Tortoise. Holy cow, dude, we're in trouble. Fabled Passage comes back. It's going to poke us for another 2. No, just 1 for now. Okay, good. Good, because it comes out tapped. They can't tap it for the turn. Still really good turn. Oh, they're saving everything back here. Beachhead, we can successfully play... Restless Anchorage. Beachhead will be untapped next turn. A Patchwork Banner, right? If we had a 2-drop in hand, we would have played Beachhead Banner, played the 2-drop instead, but we happened to have a lot of our expensive things instead. So we call Soldier. We can swing in the air. You can see why the opponent saved their cards back. Because if they didn't, this could have been pretty dangerous. I would say anyone's game, but I do believe that this is leaning heavily towards the opponent. They have beautiful setup over there, and it's like I said, it took us a while to actually get the setup required. If they're greedy with it, though, let's see. We will have the Beachhead boost if we need it next turn. So forcing some blocks here could be huge for them. Trading into the Bristly Bill isn't an option because they can pop the Fabled Passage easily. Oh, this is actually a really neat Golgari list opponent. I really like it. Golgari Landfall is not something we see every day, and it's terrifying, to say the least. I'm going to try to just take the 8. We're going to take another one from the Fabled Passage, too. And, you could say, well, there's a double block with Officer Reinforcements, double block one of these, but then we're losing 2 of our soldiers. The opponent's at 13. At what point... Yeah, I think 2 cards for the price of one of their cards isn't really going to do enough anyways, so... Down to 1. Alright. Alright, let's see it. I don't know what we could see, but wow! That's pretty good if the Vine Lasher wasn't going to kill us next turn. Right? That's pretty good. That's a good one. Alright, so we'll go Beachhead. We can decline. And then we can activate the Beachhead ability. Boost our soldiers, and we could do that at instant speed too. We go for the fun swing for the turn, for sure. Because we're more likely than not dead from the Vine Lasher next turn anyways, so let's just go for it. It is going to be... We got 10 on the board right now. They find some spot removal, which we can actually get around, but then it goes into the blocking step, unfortunately. Yeah, we get around... Oh, doubling down on the cut down. It is going to be a go for the throw, actually. Oh. We still have 10 on the board. But 2 pieces of spot removal, if... Honestly, I mean, I don't think the opponent would have let this through, right? But if they missed the spot removal, there could have been a small chance of letting it go through and missing the beachhead, but I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Outside of that, if there was... See, there's the land anyways. Outside of that, if there is a way to have this Brightblade... Let's see. Brightblade early on in that game would have been huge, but they had 2 pieces of spot removal that they were holding. A good game, opponent. Really liked your deck list. That was awesome, actually. I kind of really like land builds. I can't help it. Like, yeah, I'm an aggro player. Yeah, I like builds that have red cards in them, right? But lands. I like lands. I like land builds a lot too. I like builds that like power up the lands and stuff too. Actually really like ramping as well. Ramping in general. I always kind of hype up, like the Gruul ramp is so much fun. I always hype up when the opponents are popping off with their Gruul ramp lists. Okay, the hands have been questionable, to say the very least. Let's try it, right? I guess we could mulligan, but this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, check out my Recruitment Officer. Let's get that down. We want to do that now because if you go Plains Recruitment Officer when you don't have any other soldiers in hand, then they kill the officer, then you won't have the beachhead coming down. Wait. I just explained all that, and I just completely overlooked the second beachhead. That's okay, because we're going to draw 2 on the chart. We'll probably find more soldiers. There we go. There we go. Challenger. Good thing we went first. Coast. Banner. Soldier. Frontliner. Oh, and probably attack. It's something we should have done before the frontliner play, but that's okay. We drew pretty well, so we're curving out really nicely. Like, the opening hand was but then we're actually seeing stuff that's pretty good. Mentor or Challenger? Probably Mentor. Challenger helps them see more off the top, unfortunately. Either way, we have to take care of one of them. And I think it might be just the bigger creature at that point that they spent more mana on, you know? Bring it back for the swing while we have it. Maybe. It's extra damage. We already have 5 on the board, so reinforcements can still come down. Regardless of what land we end up playing here. So it's probably going to be coast then. It's a good swing for the turn, bringing them down to 9 and then surprising them with the reinforcements. It's pretty darn good. So, get this down tapped. Frontliner's out of here, but yeah, while they were tapped out, getting the extra 3 damage through is pretty good. So, let's see what this reinforcements can end up doing and see if they still think that they're not on the defense. Because I think they are the ones on the defense here. I could be wrong, though. We don't know what's in their hand. Wow. Offspring on Manifold Mouse. Yikes. Okay. All right, we need to see something that's not mana off the top. But we do have a good swing, thanks to these beachheads. And I really love that we are seeing... Well, what did they go for here? They go for the double strike. I think we take the 4... Oh, the double strike trample. Yeah. There's two Manifold Mouse. That's okay. We take it. Down to 12. Reinforcements. See, they're at 9. We need to successfully... We need to get all the way through here, right? Let's get that other beachhead down. Decline. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thanks to the banner. Full swing. Risk it. Risk the full swing. They're actually forced to block. Thanks to the boost. See what happens. Let's do it. There we go. It's easy to overlook the banner ramp. GG opponent. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. So they were forced to block at least one there. And why it was risky, it was if they block the officer, we get 6 through. They go down to 3. They lose their 1/1. Then we're at 12. They have double strike for challenger. Just boosted a couple times. That's it, right? Or even just once at that point. Could do it potentially. Well, no. Yeah, double strike to challenger, boosting it with a monstrous rage. And then full swing would have been, what, 11 damage? But they had 4 mana here too. So it was risky. It was. So, like, swinging with 2, it just worked out in our favor. That's all I got to say about that one, right? Like, swinging with 2 and, like, keeping 1 back, that still wouldn't have done it. They could have played Manifold Mouse number 2, gave that double strike trample anyways for just the 2 mana from the Manifold Mouse, and then still boosted it with a Monstrous Rage. So, like, it just, like, it's one of those things. It just ended up working out. All right, guys. Well, I have you here in the middle of the video. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way or joining either of those up. And also with the YouTube nonsense, if you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well. It really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. We go first. I like the hand. Let's do it. Anything that lets me curve out properly is a good hand in my opinion. Blooming Marsh. Ew. Let's probably get the Guardian down. Let's see what they do to my Recruitment Officer, though. Because cut down is a thing that exists, right? And Guardian gets around spot removal. Or we could draw 2 for the turn. See what happens. No, it's going to be Guardian. We don't need to replenish early on here with the chart, of course. We can send Guardian number 2 for the Indestructible, keeping that established against... Oh, Abzan colors. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Nice. 3rd mana is huge. Let's start boosting this Guardian. Cut down, of course, can hit the Siege Veteran, though, but this is still worth it. Attack... You can't enlist a card with Summoning Sickness. That would be pretty darn good if you could, right? So it's a, you tap a non-attacking creature you control without Summoning Sickness. Okay, 3rd mana. Oh. I mean, it's got to be spot removal for the Siege Veteran then, right? I don't mind seeing more mana. Try boosting this board state here. Wow. Onto the Veteran, I guess. I was considering the, oh, there's 2 Veterans on this board. I was considering the Valiant Veteran. On us down to 10. Draw 2. Land. Ew. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It would not be ew if it was the Beachhead, though. 4th mana. And no board wipe. They need some spot removal. Ooh, they really need some spot removal. All right. Patchwork Banner. Call Soldier. We're going to try to buff wide. GG opponent. Wow. I don't know what they missed there, but they missed a lot apparently. Only a cut down? I guess like a big issue here is if they're trying to remove things and it like the thing that they had removal for was only like the Guardian, then that's a big problem because we just keep giving it Indestructible. But the big thing here is too, they do that on our turn. We have to tap down Guardian. Now we can't swing with the Guardian. It actually ends up being like a tempo style play from the opponent. Additionally, if it can try to pick up the Guardian, that means it probably can pick up the Siege Veteran. So where was their spot removal? I have no idea. I feel like we just got a little lucky, man. That's all. That's what it feels like. Let's keep the ball rolling. Ooh, staunch crewmate. Guys, we got to visit pirates again sometime. Is the new set bringing any new pirates? Probably not, right? Probably not. I don't know. I haven't looked at the creature types too much. I do know one thing. at the time that this video releases, the new set might literally be coming out tomorrow by the time this video is uploaded. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know I gotta start looking at the cards more and read them through again. I already read them through once, but that's never enough. I'm definitely a hands-on Magic the Gathering player where I gotta play with the cards to remember them. You know what I mean? But I definitely got the idea of what's coming out in the next set. Deep Cavern Bat, you get out of my hand, you monster! Okay. Okay, what did they grab here, dude? Valiant Veteran, maybe? These, like... What am I trying to say? This is a lineup of 2-drops. This is a great lineup of 2-drops. Resolute Reinforcements. They don't want us to go wide. Guardian. Guardian has to come down because we got to play around the burn and stuff. Against Rakdos, I guess they usually just play value spot removal rather than burn. So either way, Indestructible does technically play around that. Swing with the bat. Deep Cavern Bat. Aw, man. Alright, they probably take the Valiant Veteran this time. Especially with the double Charter Course in hand. They don't want to just hit one of those. Alright, let's see it. Dewdrop Cure. Let's do a thing this game, huh? So before land, let's just go for the swing. See what happens. They take the 2. And we go Charter Course. We could find a land that we want to play out tapped or something. Charter Course, Valiant Veteran. Let's go for the Plains. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. The double Deep Cavern Bat is a problem, though, because of the life gain every turn. Third mana from the opponent. Liliana gets around the Indestructible on the Guardian easy peasy, but luckily it's not an exile effect. We'll eventually be able to bring back this Guardian, which I don't mind.
Haven't you ever heard of
Fortified Beachhead. Get that down. I'll call the Valiant Veteran because I plan on playing it. I'll play it. Oh, you know what, though? You know what? I probably should have just played Charter Course first, because then we might have found something else that we wanted to play. I'm gonna get rid of the island here. We could discard the officer. The opponent's just gonna kill it on their own anyways once we play it. So, like, I'd rather, like, if we get rid of officer, like, sure, we'll have a better Dewdrop Cure, but we'd have to gift a card too. I say we let the Cure do its thing on its own without stocking the graveyard when we don't have many creatures in hand already. If we add more creatures, then sure, yeah, discarding a creature, making the Cure a little better could be good. But the opponent's just gonna remove these things on their own, so just waiting a second and playing them out is also fine. Actually, with the discard too, I guess we could. I guess we go Recruitment Officer discard. Gift them a card, get 3 soldiers back. It doesn't seem that great, but I'll go for it because I really want Dewdrop Cure to do a thing. Seachrome Coast. That's probably the discard to a Charter Course. Charter Course first, right? See what we see. Okay. Yeah. It's the Coast discard. Then we can play the Plains, that's fine. And Dewdrop Cure. Gift a card. There you go, buddy. Veteran, Officer, Guardian. Cool stuff, man. Doesn't have haste or anything fancy, so they will have the -2 on the Liliana, and giving them a card also is pretty sketchy, but I'm glad. I'm glad we actually got to hit 3 creatures with that. That's pretty neat, to say the least. Really, a cut down. That's not good. That's not good, guys. That was fast for them. Luckily, Valiant Veteran in the graveyard is not terrible. The sacrifice on the Liliana will be the officer. Look at this. There's a bunch of pain land from the opponent. There they go. There's a mountain. Brask's Forge. All right. Like a Rakdos control list, maybe? Trying to figure this one out. I'll go for the block on the ground with the Guardian. I'm not afraid of that block. Okay. Cacophony Scamp. Are they going to go discard on the Liliana, I wonder? To try to keep it around since they have a chump blocker now on the Scamp. No, they are going to go for the sacrifice. And the sacrifice is the officer, especially since we have another officer in hand too. All right. Well, anyone's game easily, right? I think so. Cavern isn't bad. We're definitely getting a lot of mana. We want to make sure we have a lot of discards for the Guardian too. Seeing more off the top on this officer wouldn't be bad. Boosting the Guardian wouldn't be bad. We could go for the swing here successfully, I would say. I want to wait till we have more soldiers on the board to get the Valiant Veteran from the grave. Also, like, we might find another Dewdrop Cure too. Call Soldier. Recruitment Officer. We do have the mana to activate both of these things. So we wait. We wait to see what the opponent's up to. We could roll on Scamp is pretty good, but they want the lifelink, it looks like, from the Deep Cavern Bat. Lord Skitter, Sewer King. Oh, man. Let's see them target the Veteran, and then we'll activate Veteran's ability. Do we need, like, full control for that? Like, on the stack of what they target? I'm going to activate full control just in case. Okay, and then we can activate that on the stack, which is pretty good. Right? That way they didn't target something else. We didn't get hasty about it or anything. 2-1, full swing. I think we're in danger. They're going back up to 18 here, guys, and we just have a lot of mana. So I think we're just going to take it all, see what happens. They could pop the Scamp, hit one to face, and then proliferate on the Forge. That could be pretty good, because next turn it would be 4-1. Which actually, yeah, that actually sounds really good. Yeah, more mana off the top. We could start with finding some creatures on the Officer, or we could consider boosting with the Beachhead. And it would be boosting if they weren't gaining so much life on the bat and everything, and they would have lethal next turn too. But at this point, we just look for more on the Recruitment Officer and see what we see. Brightblade Stoat could be huge. Valiant Veteran's not bad as well, honestly, dude. But the lifelink and the first strike, I want all of these. Can I just grab all these cards to my hand? For real. I'm not going to play the land. I'm going to keep those as discards to the Guardian. And we have to keep blockers back, right? Wait a minute. Guys, we could have enlisted the Guardian. Oh, we could have... Yeah. Hold up. I will do it now, but we could have scryed too, first of all. Luckily, we found something we wanted anyways. Yeah, I'm going to risk this. Now that we have some lifelink on the board, we're just going to risk it because I think this is heavily leaning towards the opponent anyways. Reinforcements is actually pretty good. I don't know what else I really want to see, so I'll keep reinforcements. Yeah, their block would be Lord Skitter. Other words, we're getting 6 through. See, the first strike takes care of the Forge's trample and everything. And then we gain 2 up to 9. We should hopefully survive the turn. Yeah, sending 1 reinforcements, keeping the other on top. No, it's as simple as a shock. It was risky. It was risky. And definitely punished for that swing, huh? That's okay. That's all right. Some spot removal would have went really far in this game, so you know, we definitely got to consider that in the final thoughts, of course, right? When we go for a deck list like this, like sometimes we have to find a balance between the two. Good game, opponent, by the way. Sometimes we got to find a nice balance, and other times we just got to go for it, man. And this deck is just going for it, and that might not be something we want, actually. Although it's kind of been showcasing how good it can be to actually just go for it, right? Let's go again. One more. 35 minutes in, I think we can easily end on a high note, and even if we don't, I actually really enjoyed how the deck list performed. Yeah. Let's do this. Yes. I like it. I'm going to get this Brightblade Stoat down, man. I'm going to get it down right away over the Guardian. Well, I guess it depends what they play, but... They pop the Fabled Passage. It's going to be a Plains Veteran. Okay. Soldier. Check out my Weasel. Let's start boosting this guy. Some 1-drops would be good off the top. Oh, Orzhov. Deep Cavern Bat. They have a decision to make here, man. Probably Banner. But it could be Veteran. I think the Banner should be scary. I think the Banner should be more scary based on like what we could possibly see off the top. Than something like the Veteran, of course. See, the Deep Cavern Bat plays is really showcasing why removal... They do end up taking the Banner. I think that was a very good grab for the opponent. Siege Veteran, however, it's a really good draw, man. I think that would have been the grab over the Banner, actually, so it's a good thing it wasn't in hand yet. I wonder if we draw next turn. If we swing draw. Again, depends what they play. Gain life on the Barons. Probably swing with the Bat because they don't plan on blocking. Oh, okay. We got some Orzhov Bats. Alright, we know what we're up against. We definitely gotta go. Create a Bat. That's a chump blocker. See Valiant Veteran. Not a bad draw, but it's like very tempting to go chart a course, find a mana, and then go Veteran. But there's a chance that we miss the mana, and we gotta go full swing. So we go Veteran that they can see. We'll spread the counters wide for now. It's tempting to go onto the Brightblade, of course. But yeah, they would have just blocked it. They would have blocked 5 and we would have gotten the 3 through. So spreading wide, we pushed a little bit excess damage through there. Yeah, very tempting. Chart a course, find the mana. Not worth it, I don't think. I think this is going to be much better to just have some patience with our Valiant Veterans. Okay, I expect a 2-drop to be played this turn as well, since they went Case of the Uneaten Feast first here. With a 1-drop. I expect a 2-drop to come down. Back up to 15. We can still push this through. We really, really can. Back down to 13. Spot removal for the Valiant Veteran. We get a 1/1. And we have another Valiant Veteran. They do not know that we drew this one. They only knew we had one Valiant. Save the blockers back. Back up to 14. Chart a course. See, it's one of those things. It's so tempting. Look for the mana. I don't think it's worth it. Just Valiant Veteran, go for the swing. Buff wide. When they got chump blockers for days, buffing wide is probably the best thing you could possibly do. They're going to have an uphill battle because we're gaining so much life here. Down to 11. I'll tell you what, though. A board wipe would pull them back in this, and I think heavily lean it towards them at that point. But after a board wipe, we do have ways to restock our hand with Chart a Course, so Yeah, let's have this game be the game that really showcases that removal is unnecessary in the right build. Let's have this be the game, right? They got a lot of life gain, man. Taking the Guardian, that's a good choice, I'd say. Doesn't have haste or anything, but when we don't have any other creatures in hand, that's a good one. They pay 2. Wow, they found a 1-drop on the draw. Or that could have been in hand, honestly. That could have already been there. If not, that was a really, really good draw from the opponent. Anyone's game easily, because if they find anything to interrupt this board state... Alright, we can do this before combat now. If they find anything to interrupt this board state successfully, I think they're easily back in this. Or easily in this, right? So, Mockingbird, yes. Yes. I'm going to send the Frontliner, actually, though, as the discard, because we can play the planes. Bring back Frontliner. We have a huge full swing here. We'll boost the Veteran. Swing. Boost the Veteran, I guess, right? It's a really good full swing. They chump Veteran. They chump the 3/3. No. They chump the Siege Veteran. We got a lot of veterans on the board. Alright, up to 21. Good chumps. They're keeping both of their deep cavern bats around. I think that was a solid turn, man. Maybe I should have been a little bit more cautious about what I was tapping down there, first of all, but that's okay. Well, no. Yeah, we could have tapped Cavern. Yeah, no, I guess that still worked out fine. Oh, opponent, let me play Mockingbird before you concede. Oh, that would be so fun. Because Mockingbird, copy Veteran, buff this board state. Oh, they might not concede. Wait, hold up, guys. They're getting 2 bats. They're back up to 5. This is still the play, though, right? Mockingbird. X is 1. Copy the Valiant Veteran. Could also copy a Deep Cavern Bat, which is actually really sick. We'll buff the Veteran, I suppose. Only having 1 blue source on the board has actually been pretty bad. So they need either spot removal in hand or to block all the 5. All right, good stuff, because we're getting the Guardian back. They're still alive, though. The problem is we have so much. I don't even know if we want to play the Guardian. I don't think they have anything that would exile... Oh, wait. A Sunfall would just be terrible. And then we'd have to find a way through somehow. Hopefully they don't have Sunfall in here, guys, but I guess it's possible. Anything's possible. Ruin Lurker Bat. Since if this was a Sunfall style build, if we didn't know that we were up against bats, then we probably would have kept Guardian in hand instead. But in this case, since they're getting bats on the ground, they're gaining a lot of life here. Wow, they're gaining back up to 2. 2 bats coming in, back up to 4. 5. 5 chump blockers. Draining us a little bit. That's not enough, right? We can play that. We can play the Siege Veteran. We can buff all of our creatures above the 5. GG, opponent. GG. That was a good game. That was good. So, how we wanted to do this, right, was we wanted to... Oh, we also had Siege Veteran over here in the graveyard, too. That also would have worked. Just 5 mana since we found the 5th mana, right? It was the Beachhead for the turn. Buff our wide board state. 1, 2... No, it wouldn't have worked. They would have blocked everything. No. Yeah, it would have. It would have. Because they're at 4. Our lowest card was going to be 4 on this Flying Veteran. So they block everything else. 4 gets through regardless. That was good. That was good stuff. Soldiers, kind of, showcasing its power. And for a second, it felt like the opponent was going to concede. Luckily, actually, they had a great turn of actually surviving there. So Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, guys. I'm dropping a Dewdrop Cure and going up a Harbin, I think. No, maybe. That's like my first thought, right? Because like Harbin's really good. It's also like if nothing else, it's a 2 mana 3/2 with flying, which is like pretty good stats. But then whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. Yeah, we're going wide a little bit, but not as well as you would expect. I kind of want to drop this though. I do want to drop this to 2, I think. Never mind. The deck list performed well enough today for me to not change anything, but if you are going to change anything, maybe dropping a Dewdrop Cure or 2 and going up some spot removal could be good. I'm glad that we actually got to showcase why spot removal isn't always the answer sometimes. We see that it's a very similar concept in the mono red list that just purely focus on throwing face. Some of them don't run any burn. Some of my mono red lists don't run any burn, and it's just all face. That's it, and it's actually solid, or surprisingly solid, right? So, we're trying that similar concept here, but spot removal's good, man. So if you like it, that's what I would do. I would drop a cure or 2 and go up a couple pieces of spot removal. You go up like a couple Get Lost or something, that's pretty good because you're playing, you can pick up like temporary lockdowns and stuff, which I surprisingly haven't been seeing as much of in the last couple weeks, even though I've been trying kind of sort of for some of my builds to build around them, but because I saw so many of them for so long. But in the last couple weeks, I actually haven't seen as much temporary lockdown. Dropping a cure or 2, going up a couple Get Lost, you're just not going to be sad about that, I would say. However, you are heavily leaning into the 2-drop spot, which is going to hold you up sometimes. We do only have 21 mana in here. It was enough, and we actually, for 21 mana, we kind of sort of flooded out in some of those games, right? If you're not satisfied with the 21 mana and you think you actually need more, here's why, right? Because we're so over the top on 2 drops in the curve, it means it comes to turn 4, and you actually just really want your 4th mana to play 2 of your 2 drops. So I could also see going up to 22. Going up to 23 could be okay, but probably not, especially when we have some pretty good card draw or filtration on the Charta course, right? So yeah, there's a lot to talk about here. I do think that the deck list performed well enough for me not to change anything. I liked the Brightblade Stoat here. Is it Stoat? Am I pronouncing that right? I have no idea. The Brightblade Weasel. I actually really like this. I like that once you buff it with a veteran or a banner, or buffing it with a second veteran on like a Mockingbird or something. Actually just really like First Strike Lifelink. It can really be that simple sometimes. If you're up against like mono red, they're pretty sad about that, I would say. So Guardian of New Benalia. Yeah, that's the problem, right? If I drop any Dewdrop Cures, we're rocking Guardian of New Benalia and Charta Course in here. 8 cards, both of them being 4-ofs in the build, specifically because Cure is a card that we can rip our creatures back from the grave with, and quite successfully at that. Hitting 3 creatures is no joke. Giving the opponent a card is pretty bad, I guess. But 3 creatures, man. I don't know. Now, not having haste is a problem, but when you are hitting cards that have like ETBs and stuff, like Resolute Reinforcements, then it's not half bad. Also, all this discard with the Frontliner has proven itself a little bit, because at least Unearth is a way to give haste to a creature, right? You're at least having a hasty Frontliner. Sometimes it will come down to the opponent board wipes, and then you bring back your Frontliner or 2 next turn, and swing on in that way with your hasty Frontliners, right? So off the Unearth, of course, right? They don't have haste in and of themselves if you bring it back with the Dewdrop Cure. I don't know, man. I really liked this deck list, actually, and let me know in the comments, are there any new soldiers coming up? I'll have to double check that. Like I said in the last couple of videos, I haven't been checking the card types, and I really should be checking the card types of the upcoming set, so I don't know if there's any new soldiers that we're going to be able to try out, but Mockingbird was pretty sick. Really like that, and I love that we can copy the opponent's creatures too. All 4 Fortified Beachhead with all 4 Seachrome Coast, couple Cavern. The Restless Anchorage didn't hold us up at all because I don't think we saw it. I still think it's going to be worth the 1 of in here, but you don't have to, I guess. I don't know. I guess you could go up like another Cavern. That's going to hold you up every now and then too, though. Because Cavern you can't tap to bring back the Frontliner on Earth, right? But then also, if you don't call Birdie, you're going to have trouble playing your Mockingbird. And then also Cavern, if you have too many of them on the board, might hold you up with the Charter Course. Probably not the Dewdrop Cure if you have well, unless you had only 3 Cavern of Souls, right? Which would be pretty rare. That would be pretty unlucky. I don't know. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Yeah, go up a couple removal if you want to. That should be fine and dandy, but it's going to be a little sketchy if you drop the Dewdrop Cures, because I guess that's kind of sort of what the deck list was built around. It's kind of built around the graveyard, which is neat. Guardian's indestructible. It's too bad we had to sacrifice it to Liliana, so we didn't get to like showcase the indestructible really coming in handy too much today, but I think it'll come in handy. I think. Yeah. Okay. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. The only reason I would say put this on the do not craft list is because the next set is coming out at any moment. Whenever I decide to post this, it literally might be coming out tomorrow, and we never know what the meta is going to look like. We never know how the cards are going to settle, so we don't know what's going to be good, what's going to be terrible. Like, something in the meta could just absolutely obliterate how this deck list performs, and then that would be a problem. And there's a lot of rares in here, too, actually. Between the Siege Veteran, Guardian, Valiant Veteran, right? Harbin, the Mana Base, the Beachhead is all rare, right? The Mockingbirds are all rare too, so yeah, that's the only real reason I would say put it on the do not craft list. And then also it might need optimized a little bit based on what you're seeing in the meta with a couple removal spells. So okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? Yeah, I forget if I brought this up already, but if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.